Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a full get ready with me on this look. So I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to start off by making our wig, and I like to use these mesh dome caps. These are my favorite to use for wigs. They're really fitted and I just like the way that they feel. So I'm going to put this on my wig head, which is a 22-inch wig head, and that is the circumference of my head. So then I'm going to pin down my wig head. I like to do this just to make sure that it stays in place. And then I'm also going to pin down my closure. And make sure that when you're pinning down your closure, it's really flat. You don't want it to be like lifted in any areas, because you'll be able to see that when you put your wig on. If you need an in-depth tutorial on how to create a closure wig, I will link that video at the end of this one, and it has step-by-step instructions on how to create a closure wig. So I'm going to start off by sewing down the closure and just making sure that it's really secured. It's funny because I actually started this video a long like months ago, and I never went back and finished it because this hair originally was a sew-in, but I only wore it one time, and then I took it out and I just like tossed it in a bag. And then I kept saying, oh, I'm going to come back to it and just turn it into a wig, which is what I should have done in the first place. So I finally decided to take the project on one day, and then I just got so annoyed that I just tossed it back to the side and never came back to it. And the reason I was so annoyed doing it is because when I had this sew-in, I had cut it into like a really defined cut, like a nice bob. And so all the pieces were just all over the place, and then the tracks were folded, so it was just really frustrating trying to figure out which piece went where. So I just got really frustrated, but I wanted some gray hair, and I was like, dang, I already have that hair that's cut, and I wanted a bob. And so I'm like, dang, I have that hair and it's already done. So I was like, let me just take it step by step and go ahead and finish it. So this is when I first started a long time ago. So this is the first track, and I'm just pinning down the track, and then I'm sewing the tracks down. You'll see that I use black thread on the closure, and I also use black thread back here because I wasn't thinking about it. And then after the first two tracks, I went ahead and switched to blonde thread. And definitely if you're using blonde hair, you want to use the blonde thread. That way you don't see the thread everywhere. So yeah, I'll show you guys a clip after I show you the clips of me sewing down just a few pieces for anyone that needs to see. And then I'll show you guys the clip of the difference of what it looks like when it has blonde thread. So this is what it looks like with the blonde thread, and you see it's just like a cleaner look. Even when you're brushing through the hair, you won't be able to see like little pieces of black thread throughout. It was cool when I used the black thread on the closure because my roots are black, but definitely go ahead and use blonde thread. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and do some cutting. I ended up giving up on trying to figure out what pieces went where, so I just started sewing all the tracks in and just fit them wherever they fit in. So in the end, it ended up giving the wig like a little choppy look, but I actually ended up liking it. It was like a little edgy, choppy haircut, so I was like, let me just go in and clean it up because it was looking really rough, but I saw a vision of where it was going. So I just went ahead and cleaned everything up, and I'll let you guys watch me do some cutting if I can talk. So I went in and did some point cutting, added some more layers, fixing the layers because everything was just like really rough. So I cleaned it up, and I'll let you guys watch that. Next, I'm taking purple shampoo and conditioner, and I'm using Shimmer Lights, and I'm just going to shampoo and condition the hair. Originally, this hair was like a yellow 613 blonde, but I toned the hair, and then I also added some black roots. So this time around, I wanted to do a like grayish color again, so I went ahead and shampooed and conditioned the hair with purple conditioner, but I wanted some of the undertones from the purple conditioner to stay on the hair because I wanted to do a look with it. So I let the purple conditioner sit on the hair for a long time. I think I let it sit for like a few hours. So yeah, if you don't want any of the undertones of the conditioner on the hair, then don't let it sit, especially because I already toned this hair. If it was like a yellow blonde and I was using the shampoo and conditioner to tone the hair, then you can let it sit, but I already toned this hair, and so if you don't want that color on there, there's no need to let it sit. But it came out perfect, and I wanted to do a look with it wet so that it could look kind of gray but have like that purple undertone in it, and it came out so perfect. I loved it. But of course I wanted to do the look wet because once you put heat to the hair, it's kind of going to go back to that pale ash blonde, which I love, and you guys saw that color when it was dry, so it'll kind of go back to that once you keep putting heat on it. And I plan on doing another look with that hair too, like once I apply heat to it and do a different style. So make sure you guys are subscribed so that you can see the next tutorials with this hair. I'm also adding this style to gracebeauty.com. I'll put the link in the description box, so if you want to purchase the same wig, you can, or you can also email me to create a custom wig. So this is the final result after letting the hair sit in the purple conditioner for a few hours. You can see it's really held on to the purple undertones from the conditioner, which is perfect. And then it still has that gray metallic vibes. I just love it. Then I just went in and did a little bit more cutting, nothing too dramatic, but I just wanted to clean up any stray hairs that I missed before when the hair was dry. But everything came out so perfect. Like the color went with the vibe of the haircut, like that edgy, like choppy, layered haircut. Oh, I just loved it so much. I'm so proud of myself. And for this look, I want to wear the hair wet, so I know I'm not going to put any heat on it, so I don't want to overly wrap the hair, but I did want to lay down the top, so I just added a little bit of Nairobi foam wrap and combed the closure piece down. But I didn't put any strip papers or anything on that because I know I'm going to do like a wet, wavy, curly type of look. Next, I'm going to start with clean skin, and we're going to be doing our makeup. So the first thing I'm going to do is take Hourglass's Veil Mineral Primer, and I'm just applying this all over my skin. This is a really good primer, and don't be afraid of the little cast that it leaves because once you apply your foundation, you won't be able to see that at all. Next, because I do get oily, I'm going to take Becca's mattifying primer, and I'm just applying that to the areas that I get oily, which is mainly my T-zone. And you only need a small amount with this primer because it does get really drying, of course, because it is soaking up all the oils on your face. Next, I'm taking MAC's Conceal and Correct palette in the shade Dark, and I'm using the orange color corrector. And lately I've been mixing it with the yellow one as well, and I like to combine that now. Normally I used to just use the orange concealer, but I found mixing those two bottom corrector shades really cover up my hyperpigmentation. And then I'm just using this little buffing kabuki brush from It Cosmetics to blend everything out. Next, for foundation, I'm going to be mixing Lancome's Tint Idol in the shade 470 with Danessa Myricks Vision Cover Cream in the shade T1. And I wanted a very, very full coverage look, so I decided to mix the two. Lancome's foundation I just love so much, and it's like the perfect shade for my skin. But I also love the Vision Cream by Danessa Myricks. It has a really full coverage, thick consistency, so it's perfect for times when I want to do like full coverage looks. And then it also has like this perfect olive undertone, which matches my skin perfectly. If you guys can tell, I have like a lot of yellow olive undertones aside from my hyperpigmentation. So I like to mix these two and it comes out perfectly. I had a lot of hyperpigmentation during my pregnancy with my twins around my mouth area and my neck. So those two mixed together do a great job at covering it. And you can see it makes your skin look flawless. And then the shade is just like perfect. I love those two mixed together. Next, I'm going to take these, they don't sell these anymore. They probably have like a different tone, but this was the Rihanna and Mac collection. It's so old, I know, but now that I found it, I can't stop using it. So I think they're called luster drops. So I'm going to put those on my highlighted areas. And then I am taking my favorite MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC45. And I'm going to highlight with a beauty blender. Next, I'm going to use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Tan Sand, and I always like to do a little bit of extra highlighting with this shade. Then I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender. And guys, let me know, I hate doing voiceovers sometimes, but it's easier to record without having to talk. But can you guys please just let me know if you like when people like talk during the video, or if you like voiceovers better. I'm really curious to know which one people like more. And next I'm taking this MAC 130 brush. It's a flat top dual fiber brush, and I'm just going to use this to blend out the edges of the concealer. Then I'm going to take my Ben Nye foundation, and this is a cream foundation, and I'm using the shade Rich Cocoa. And then I'm taking this kind of angled flat top. This is a MAC 163 brush, and I'm going to use this for contouring. And then I'm taking this smaller, I think this is a contour brush as well from e.l.f. And I'm just going to conceal or contour my nose as well. Then I'm going to blend that out with this angled kind of kabuki style brush. I got this from TJ Maxx a really long time ago. And the key to flawless foundation, of course, is blending. So I'm just going to go back in and blend out all of those areas some more. And especially before you set underneath your eyes, make sure you blend that out one more time, because however it looks when you set it is how it's going to look. So then for setting, I was going to use my setting powder, but then I wanted to go in with my pressed powder first. And this pressed powder is the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 330. And then on top of that, I'm going to set that with Danessa Myricks Evolution powder in the shade number 2. And I love that setting powder. It leaves the skin really silky smooth. Between that and Laura Mercier's translucent powder, those have been my current two faves. Then I went ahead and did my brows off camera. You guys know, I told you in the last video, I've been playing around with my brows, so let me figure them out. I've been trying to do some different styles, but it looks crazy now, but I promise with the overall look, it was perfect. So I'm using Danessa Myricks Vision Cover Cream. That was the base in the shade Warm 4. Next, as a transition, I'm going in with the shade Cocoa Truffle from Too Faced Chocolate Gold Eyeshadow Palette. And this is like on my must-have list. I love this eyeshadow palette, and it smells really, really good. Then I'm going to take an OG fave. This is the Naked 2 palette, and I'm going in with the shade Tease, and I'm putting this as my lid color. And I knew in my mind to go for this color. It's like the exact color that I had in my head. I wanted like a matte purplish pewter type of color, and that was perfect. Next, I'm going in with a pointed pencil brush, and I'm using this gray cream base color. I don't think they still sell this, but it's in the shade Midnight from Kevin Aquan. And I'm going in my crease, and I'm also taking that outwards and doing like a wing look. And then I'm going to define that a little bit more with the shade I have in this Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. I can't remember the name of it, and they probably don't sell it anymore. But I needed like a matte sparkly black, and I wanted to put that on top of it. And then I'm just blending that out and cleaning it up with a little bit of concealer. Next, I'm going to wet a pencil brush, and I'm going to take the shade Rich Girl from the Chocolate Gold palette again, and I'm using this to line that inner portion of the eyeshadow look. And if you guys know me, you know that this is a completely different look than one that I would normally do. I was inspired by Sandra Deluxe, and she did a similar look like this, and I loved it. I thought it would go perfect with the gray vibes that I was doing. So then I line my top lid with Milani's Eye Tech liquid liner. I recently got that one, and I've been loving it. It's like a felt tip brush, and it's really pointed. So next, I'm just taking some mineralized skin finish in the shade Dark, and I'm just blending out all of the harsh lines on my face. That will like forever be one of my favorite face powders to use. Then to bronze, I'm just going to go ahead and use the same mineralized skin finish, but I'm going to go in with the shade Dark Deepest this time with a pointed fluffy brush. Then I'm also going to contour my nose with that same shade. I'm just going to go in with a fluffier brush. Then for blush, I'm using my favorite MAC Sweet as Cocoa, and I am using an angled brush also from MAC. And then I'm also going to put the blush. This is also a little bit different, but I knew the look I was going for in my head, so I applied it kind of on my inner cheeks as well. Then for highlight, I'm using Fenty Beauty's Kilowatt Foil in the shade Sandcastle. Lately, I've been loving this shade, and I'm also using their highlighter brush. I forgot the number, but yeah, I've been loving this shade Sandcastle lately. I think because it doesn't have like any type of gold undertone, and lately I just haven't been doing any gold looks. So yeah, I've been loving it, and I went heavy on the highlighter on purpose because I really wanted it to show up in my pictures, and I just knew the vibes I was going for. You guys will see in the end, it'll all come together. I know it looks crazy and I look like a tin man right now, but I promise. Wait and see. And this Milani liquid liner is so defined. I love it. It's like my new fave. And then for under in my waterline, I'm going to use Urban Decay's Glide On Pencil in the shade Perversion as always. And then for mascara, I'm using Maybelline's Colossal Cat Eye Mascara. Now for lips, I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with Max Cork Lip Liner. Then I'm going to apply MAC's Cream Cup, and then on top of that, to add a little bit more pink, I'm going to go in lightly with MAC's Saint Germain, and then on top of that, I'm applying MAC's Lip Glass in the shade Dreamy. And that lip wasn't as pink as I wanted, so I redid it, but I left the clip in just in case someone wanted more of a natural lip. So now I'm going in with the lip liner from Palladio from Sally's in the shade Rose, and then I'm applying MAC's Saint Germain on top. And then also for this lip, I wiped off all of the foundation for my lips, which I knew I should have done to begin with. I was being lazy, which is why I had to redo the entire lip. So then on top of that, I applied a little bit of Cream Cup from MAC. And then last, to top it off, I applied a little bit of the Dreamy Lip Glass from MAC. And I feel like layering your lip color is what makes it like really popping. And then last, I'm going to spray my entire face with some Fix Plus just to set everything. And then I like to go over my highlight just a little bit more to make it like super popping in pictures. But if it's like an everyday look, you might not want to go out the house like that. So then I put on my wig and it came out perfect. I just wanted to wet it down a little bit more because it was sitting out and it had dried. And for my pictures, I wanted like a super wet, wavy look. So this is the final result. I think it's so cute. It's really different and I like it. Giving me real like a storm vibes. I love it. It's cute. Really cute. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you guys want to see more tutorials, and also don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.